Hey everybody, this is Daniel Sombrano, and today I'm going to go over 6 ways to strengthen your hands when you're fighting. Okay? Now these are not typically going to be all, with a rolled fist, but some of them are. But these are going to be 6 ways that you can use to instantly strengthen your hands for fighting to make them lethal weapons. So stay tuned and watch the next few minutes, and you're going to learn a lot of information that maybe you know some, maybe you won't, but I guarantee you, as a whole, using all of them, you're going to see how lethal your hands can be if you know how to use them properly. The first one I'm going to teach you is called the index finger extension. Now, a lot of martial arts, as far as like karate, use this type of technique, and it works really, really well, and it's made to strengthen the fist so that it will not twist, and that's as far as the wrist is concerned. And so the way you do it, guys, is you do like I showed you before, where you roll your hand, and right before you, as you roll it, the index finger, your pointing finger, right, you keep it open, and you just bring the thumb across the opened or bent finger, okay? This will instantly strengthen this part of the fist. So this is particularly works really well for people that like to hit with a 2-knuckle landing. So this will instantly make your wrist and the hand on this portion of your fist become solid, okay, when you strike. So if you're hitting with all 4, or especially if you're hitting with a double knuckle, this is going to be the best way to do it. Again, if you're turning your hand over to punch, like, for straight strikes or for hooking, you do this, and it makes your finger or your whole hand solid when you're striking somebody in the head or different parts of the body. It works really well, and I would use it if you know how to do this. Sometimes if you don't practice it, you're not going to do it, right? And again, like I've said, fancy will get you killed. This isn't a really fancy technique, but it takes time for you to realize how to do it. So when you're in an adrenaline state, it might happen, it might not, but if you practice it enough and if you train that way, it'll always be ready for you, okay? So the first one, the index finger extension, and it makes the fist stronger, makes it more stable, so when you strike somebody, it makes it really hard, and it causes a lot of damage to the individual, especially when you're hitting with a 2-knuckle landing, all right? So this is the first one to learn how to do. The next one I'm going to show you is popping the knuckles. You say, what's popping the knuckles? Well, popping the knuckles will make you have instant brass knuckles, a pair of brass knuckles for each one of your fists, okay? It's like wearing big, thick rings on all 4 of your knuckles when you're striking somebody, and it's very easy to do, and it'll cause a lot more damage to somebody if you do it this way. Basically what you're going to do, again, when you roll your hands, right, you press on the pad, this part of the pad of the finger, and the little small, the tips of your fingers will press against that part of the palm. You just push it down hard, and it will pop the knuckles of your fist higher. And when it does that, it gives you more, destructive weapon here to dig into the individual when you're striking them. It causes a lot of damage. It's very dangerous, and especially if you turn it at a diagonal position, it's going to cause a lot of damage. All right, it will cut, and it will go in, and it will cause a lot of tissue damage, and it can also cause a lot of breakage to the face or wherever you're going to hit with. It's a very dangerous technique to use. It works really well. If you train yourself to, when you roll, to really press on it and to strike somebody, you're going to cause a lot of damage to that individual. I guarantee it's like getting hit with a brick to the face, okay? And guys ain't going to want to be getting hit like that. So it works really well, and it's effective, especially for street fighting, bare knuckle punching, all right? Again, understanding how to punch properly is going to go a long way in making you a very lethal and dangerous fighter out in the street. So learn how to do the knuckle popping, and you're going to be a better fighter and a more dangerous fighter for that. All right, the next technique I'm going to show you is called the thumb fold over. Now the thumb fold over is for people that try to get you in those wrist locks, always trying to go with that fancy wrist lock or whatever. And the thing is, this will keep you from getting wrist locked really easy. It's basically a counter for wrist lock, and it works really, really well, and it's very simple to do, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to use your thumb, and you're going to just bend it and fold it over towards the palm. You can even touch the palms, or you can fold it over right here. What that does is it instantly makes the hand solid, okay? And you can't turn it. If I don't do it, see how my hand is easier to twist? Once I bring it over, it locks it and it will not twist. It gives you at least 2 or 3 seconds for when someone tries to go for a wrist lock to give you that time to counter and attack the individual and break free from it. If you don't do that, it'll be easy for him to get you in that counter and then throw you or submit you or what have you. So if you're fighting the street, someone grabs you, try to twist your arm, and instantly you bring that thumb in and it locks it, you can pull and you can start striking the individual. Okay, the next one I'm going to teach you is they call it the C hand position, or for judo or for shuto, or just for chops in general. Okay, now I learned this from a great instructor named Carl Sesteri, so I want to give him credit for it. And he was a great combat instructor, and I always loved his information. And this is from where I got it from. Now, what you're going to do is, instead of making a judo chop, straight arm, like in the Austin Powers or whatever kind of karate movies you've seen, what you can do is, although it does work, what happens is it crushes the fingers. It crushes them when you're hitting that object. You got to really, really practice a lot, so to straighten that area if you're going to do it that way. And when you're fighting with somebody, especially close range, and they're attacking you, the best way to do it is curve your hand slightly. Just curve it like a C, like a capital C, like that. Curve it. That's all it needs, just like that. Not like this, just right here. That's all you need. Once you do that, it instantly becomes solid. You can test it yourself by just keeping your hands, like the straight on way, and start hitting your hands, chopping it, and then curve it slightly, and it becomes solid. Like a rock, a really solid piece of steel that you have right there. So if you curve it a little bit, and you can start doing chops, it's very, very effective, especially when you're hitting the person in the soft areas of the body. Okay, I like using it for what I call chop blocks. When you're fighting and someone's throwing a punch at you, you just chop his arm with that C position, and you can throw your punch and strike him. Okay, so the C chops work very, very well against the neck, side of the head. Okay, the arms, the forearms. All right, and you can chop and strike the individual, especially when you're fighting out there in the street. All right, so the C hand position is a very dangerous weapon to use against someone on the street. So practice it. Chop on the bags. If you have a bag that's similar to that, you can just chop on the bottom. You can even lay a piece of, get a sandbag or what have you, and start hitting it on the ground and practice that. And it works really well. Okay, so get comfortable making a C position when you're throwing your chops. And I guarantee you, you're going to be able to hit harder, and you're going to be more dangerous when you use it. All right? So that's the C hand position. All right, guys. This is the end of part 1 of this video. There's 2 parts to it. Stay tuned for the second part. I have already downloaded it, so you can always go look for it. Okay? So again, I hope this information is going to help you. And I'm only going to bring you information that I know works. I'm not going to show you stuff that doesn't work. I'm always going to show you things that do work. And these are some things that really work. All right? So stay tuned for part 2. Take care, and we'll see you later. Bye.